25 minutes before 12 o'clock. Last year I learned what tapas was, Robin. And this year I have to be reminded because I don't remember. So we're going to learn again. Oh, I lost my notes here. Pam McBride is in the studio. She's the director of Open Arms Village, and she has worked with some of my relatives, Robin, over at Blessed Trinity.
Oh, wow.
How about
nice.
that? And in the studio also Kelli Carvalho?
Yeah, Carvalho.
Yes, Carvalho. Kelli was here last year to talk to us about the Wine and Tapas. The Wine and Tapas event.
That's right.
It's happening again on April 28th, and I got
Saturday.
some passports here. So I have to be reminded what this is. Pam and Kelli, good morning. Let's see. The Wine and Tapas Downtown Ocala fundraising event for Open Arms. Oh, okay. So that's you who benefits.
That's me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you both for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Tell me again, what is tapas?
Tapas or tapas is a Spanish word, and it means small plate in Spain.
Small plate.
Small plate, yeah. So it's like,
That's easy.
you know, instead of a large portion of something like a full sit-down dinner,
Right.
you get a small, like aperitif, like a little appetizer.
I'm learning
couple
a lot of
bites
food
something.
stuff today.
Yeah. So this could be foodie hour. Yeah.
Do you know what a preneur is?
I do not.
It's a taker. And do you know what an entree is in food? It's like the main dish, right?
Right, yeah.
So if you're an entrepreneur, you're the main dish taker.
Oh, that's
So-
the job.
So,
To deliver the food.
so if you're the
See, when you say it in French, it sounds so much better, doesn't it?
appetizerpreneur,
Yeah.
you're the guy who likes I'm a dessertpreneur.
Yeah.
Aperitif.
What?
Aperitif. Kelli said.
Aperitifpreneur.
Preneur, yes. And what was the other food thing we learned today? I can't remember. There was another thing. But anyway, so...
Sushi.
Oh, yes.
California roll. You
Itchy
learned that
sushi.
today.
Sushi would fit on a little plate,
It would.
but do you put sushi on little plates?
I don't think anybody's serving sushi this year. But you could do that, though. Yeah, we have 15 participating downtown restaurants.
Okay.
And they're all serving a different small plate, a little tapas. That
And
they're
one
gonna
of
put
them is
together.
your restaurant, right?
One of them is mine. That's right.
The Corkscrew?
The Corkscrew. Mhm.
Okay. How are things over at the Corkscrew?
They're hopping.
So let's talk about Open Arms. What is Open Arms? How do we...
Open Arms is in Ocala.
Uh-huh.
It's off 8th Road, which is north side of 8th Avenue. We are a transitional living facility for homeless men.
Is that right? Oh my gosh.
We are indeed.
And how many men are in there right now?
18 men is capacity for us. We're limited by space, and we're always full. We have a waiting list right now of 37 men. It's not a shelter, it's a program. So the men that come into Open Arms are looking for something more than a shelter. They're looking to have case management and mental health counseling. They're looking to have a support network for sobriety. They are looking
really?
to help. They have to be fully employed.
So
and
they've got
have-
their share of problems and they want to get rid of them.
Absolutely. And all of our men, it's a working program. They all work at least 40 hours, and a lot of our men work overtime. They all have bank accounts, they're saving, they have budgets.
Do
You
you
know-
find them jobs?
We help. We encourage them and try to give them the tools to be independent, but absolutely, if they're struggling, we will help. We'll call out the resources and help them.
Do you know, if I came upon you and I came upon somebody who asked me to build another bridge across, like, the East River, the Brooklyn Bridge,
Okay.
I would think that would be the easier job. I don't know how to do either one of them. I don't know how to help a person recover from problems, and I don't know how to build a bridge. But I think if I had two choices, that in order for me to succeed in life, I have to do one or the other, I think I'd probably figure out how to build a bridge before I could figure out how to mend a human being.
Well, and I understand that. However, think about what you just said. It actually compares the two very well, because that's exactly what we're doing. We're a bridging program.
Yeah, that's
So see
beautiful.
that? You knew that. We're a bridging
Nice
program to bridge back into living a self-sustainable
You're not
life.
supposed to be able to see through me, by the way.
It's okay.
You're not supposed to be able to do that. All right, so tell me how we can help. It sounds like it's fun, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Last year we had one of the customers equate it to trick or treating for adults.
Nice. That's
because
a good
you hop to
equation.
like that.
15. Isn't
I
that
do
cool?
too. That
Trick or
does
treating
sound
for
cool.
adults. You go to 15 different locations. You get
Can
some.
I dress up as Chewbacca?
You can dress up.
Absolutely.
We encourage it. Let's have fun. This is a fun event. But you get 15 different small, delicious meals paired with a wine, or a couple of them are paired with beers, but expertly paired, and they'll explain to you why the different flavors and stuff pair together.
Oh, that's a wonderful.
Help me understand that.
Wonderful.
I know why Coke and pizza go together. No, the truth is I don't know why. I just know that they do.
They taste good.
It works.
Or beer and pizza.
Yeah, beer and
That's
pizza.
that's the carbonation and the grease on the pizza. The carbonation helps cut that grease.
Is that right?
So that's why they
So how
pair
come
together.
ginger ale and pizza don't go together?
Well, that's just a matter of opinion, though.
How did you get all of the businesses to come on board?
Everybody was just really excited to do it. We did it last year. It was a success, and it's good for them. We have
Last year
about-
was raining.
Last year was raining.
Yeah.
During check-in, at least, it was
Yeah,
raining.
last year was tough, and we still last
you
year we
still
had
did well.
350 participants. This year we have about 400, and it's 400 people you're introducing to your restaurant or your location that might not have been aware of it. Some people are very familiar with the downtown and love to visit and promote the downtown, and some people are not aware of how many awesome things are down there.
Okay, I want to tell you something.
Sure.
I had this idea one time to have like a promotion,
Okay.
and you're doing it. The promotion was around the world in Ocala.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you go to the different ethnic foods, right? And
Yep.
it looks like that's what you have here.
That's basically what we have. The whole downtown, is completely ethnic. There's something different. We have French, we have Greek, you have New Orleans, we have Southern barbecue, we have
American.
American.
O'Malley's would be Irish, right?
True.
O'Malley's and Molly's are Irish. Yeah, there's just
What is Stella's? Stella's is
Stella's Modern Pantry.
that's.
they
Stella's
do
is delicious.
everything. They do everything. Yeah.
That's what it is.
What do you think of with Stella's? You think of like
Beer.
beer?
Stella Artois.
Stella's Modern Pantry. You
But if-
think classy. You think very
Yeah, yeah.
classic, delicious pairings. Actually, you have the passport right in front of you, and so do I. I can even tell you what they're serving this year.
Oh, that's what this shows.
Yeah. So these are the passports.
It's $50, right?
They're $50, and you get a passport. And when you check in, and you take it to each restaurant location and get it
Okay.
stamped.
And you get a little tapas, which is a little plate of food.
That's right.
Okay,
So, for instance, we said Stella's, right?
right. Oh, you got it.
All right. Stella's is serving veal cocktail patties with guava accented pico de gallo. And for dessert, a caramelized white chocolate cream puff.
Oh my
Oh, nice.
gosh.
Yeah.
This is great.
See, isn't that good?
Chocolate
And
cream
this is
puff.
all within walking distance.
All within walking distance. Yep, all within a couple blocks of each other.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, O'Malley's has beer and turkey melt.
Yeah, so
There you go.
you've got a whole array of of different things.
The new one on there seems to be Ivy on the Square.
That's right.
Ivy on the Square is new, and they were really excited to join us, and we're really happy to have them. And this is a great event for them as well, because a lot of people might not have realized that they've moved yet, so they'll get to see that. And their building is amazing when you go inside, like the way it's decorated, the way it's been redone. They did a lot to it. They put a lot of time and money and thought into it, and it looks awesome.
Oh, so it's
it's
a big
good for
party.
them. It's a big party. Yes.
So do you do things in order, or does that not matter?
No, it doesn't matter. In fact, we divide it. There's a little map inside, and we
So
divide
you've
it into
done
three
this
different
before.
colors.
You know all the questions, right?
I did the interview before. Yeah, I never did the actual event.
Well, we divide it into the three different sections. So each section has 5 restaurants, and then we divide the
Last year
people
we-
and ask them to start in a different little third of
So
the.
not everyone
you don't
starts at
start at the
Mark's.
same place,
or-
so you're not overwhelmed. We kind of
Oh.
divide it up and
Oh,
have everyone
okay.
start somewhere different and go in whatever order they want, and that way it helps keep the flow moving. And we've got live music as well.
Oh, you do?
On the square. I think
Who do you have? Who do you have?
The Lovebirds. Mark
Lovebirds.
Smythe's band. Yes, they're going to be playing.
Okay.
They're going to be playing music from 4 to 9.
And that's the duration of your event. of
Yeah,
your
the whole event.
from
So
4 to
if you're tired of walking around, we've got chairs out there. You can sit down, listen to the music. We got some bottled water, so you can hydrate yourself, take a little break, and then hop back up and keep going.
So do you have to drink the alcoholic beverage at the establishment, or
You do.
can you
You do.
walk?
That is a good question. You cannot walk around with the alcohol.
So what is that, a law? City law?
It's the city law. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to drink the alcohol at each establishment.
Now, how much of the proceeds are going to benefit Open Arms?
A third. And then the rest of the money goes back to the restaurants to help cover the cost, help offset the cost.
You can't walk around downtown Ocala with a beer, huh?
You cannot, not yet. That would be great. We should
I
have
wonder why they
a.
don't like that. I mean, it's inside.
It's a big deal. I think you got to petition with the state and everything to get that approved.
There are special permits that are quite costly. They have to close things off. It's not done often, and it's quite a big deal.
And you get a small pour at each place. It's about 2 ounces of wine.
When you're in the food business like you are, do you know all these foods? I just looked at a few I never even heard of.
I know some of them.
Oh, not all of them?
I don't know. Like, what's your question?
Like pork? This is from La Cuisine. Pork,
Yes.
parmentier, and a chilled strawberry basil soup.
Doesn't that sound delicious?
That does.
I
It
don't
sounds
know.
so good.
Strawberry basil.
Soup.
See, but it's something, that's just it. Like, you wouldn't, a lot of these things, too, you wouldn't come up with on your own, but you're going to go out and taste
sliders.
something that you love.
Little tiny salmon burgers, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Just suck them down.
Now, Pam, will you be there also to help people with their questions about Open Arms?
I
if
will
they
be
have
there to
questions?
help with Open Arms, and my case manager will be there.
Uh-huh.
And we fully participate in the organizing and the setting up and helping, and because we so appreciate being a part of it, so we
Yeah, they bring
help
in all the
however we can.
volunteers to
Can
help
I-
check everybody in.
Can I tell you, we've been to Epcot a few times. This is better than Epcot.
It's very similar, so we kind of,
It's
you know.
better because I mean,
Stole the idea
first of
there,
all,
but-
you no $50. You're not going to get all the food in Epcot.
No.
That's right. You pay for each time you stop.
Plus, you walk and your legs off.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all downtown.
So this is just as good as Epcot, as far as
I
food-wise.
think
The
it's
quality
better.
of the food that's being served, yeah, for a better price, and money goes to charity, and like you said, it's less walking. And it's a lot of fun.
Except those Bavarian girls, they don't come out and say hi to you.
That's true. That's true. We don't have any Bavarian food on this year's list.
So when you put this all together, are these some of the food that are served on the menu, or have the restaurants just taken carte blanche and created some new things?
Both, I think.
What are you guys serving?
We are making a tamponade, which is like a...
Something else I
that's-
don't know.
Yeah.
If it doesn't start with hot and end with dog, I don't think I know what it is.
It's basically like chopped olives, but we're using Castelvetrano olives and sun-dried tomatoes and serving it on baguettes with goat cheese.
Goat cheese.
Oh, that sounds
Is
delicious.
it hard to milk a goat?
It's not that hard. Have you ever been to Uncle Donald's farm?
No.
Have you?
Absolutely.
I got kids.
You milked the goat?
Yeah, you can
Absolutely.
milk the goat.
Oh, how did you do, Pam? Did you get it like right away?
No, I didn't.
It's a learning curve.
It was a little embarrassing at first. Yeah.
Oh gosh, but then you got the hang of it.
Yes.
Why was it embarrassing?
Nice.
Just failing in general. Seeing the little kids go.
Oh, they get it. The kids
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Maybe adult hands are too big. I could never do it. Look at me. I got gorillas.
You know, that might be that we don't hit the right spot.
And Pam, what kind of foods do you like normally on a normal basis?
I'm not a very adventurous eater. I'll be very honest with you.
Me too.
I
say that all the time.
It's a fault of mine, but
Oh.
working the whole event last year, right towards the end, my husband and I walked around a little bit,
Yeah?
and that was really nice.
When you go to a Chinese place, do you eat those little octopus things?
No,
Or those little red lobsters?
No.
Me either. To you?
I'm adventurous.
yes,
You do.
I do.
Are
I
you,
love it.
adventurous like Anthony Bourdain? Are you that?
No, not quite that far, but I love ethnic food. I love flavor. I love spices. I love pairings. I love trying new things.
So what are you famous for at the Corkscrew besides the wine and
Wine and beer. We're a winery and a brewery.
Oh, okay. So you don't have any like
So
snacks or
food-wise, not
anything?
usually. See, we don't have a full kitchen, which is why we're not serving something hot because we don't have a full kitchen. We do charcuterie boards,
What?
we do cheese boards, olives, hummus, things like that pair with wine that
So
don't
teach
require
us
to
about
cook.
pairing. Teach us something. Give me
Something quick about pairing?
spaghetti. What goes good with spaghetti?
Oh, spaghetti's a hard one.
Oh, it is? Why?
Well, the sauce is very acidic, the tomatoes.
I have a question about
Yeah.
spaghetti. When you go to a place that says they make fresh spaghetti, before they put it in the water, do they let it get hard like it does in the box, or
No.
they make it soft and it stays soft.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's fresh, but it wouldn't stay like that. Like it would break or be hard to ship or something. You can buy fresh pastas and spaghettis and stuff at the grocery stores. They're usually in the cold section.
Really?
They're in like a plastic sealed container and
I
they're
never
chilled.
knew that. Is it better in any way,
Yeah.
or is it just quicker to make?
It is a little quicker, but it's
You don't
it's
got to
better.
throw it against the refrigerator?
But the thing
No.
is, the sauce though. I mean, that's what you're really gonna taste, and what really makes your dish. But classic pairing, you always hear red wines go with red meats, right, and white wines go with white meats, like chicken and fish and stuff like that. And the reason why, red wines have higher tannin levels, and tannin's what dries out your mouth, like when you drink a wine.
Oh.
Or if you chewed on a banana peel, like your mouth, it has high tannins, and your
Yeah,
mouth
that's-
would.
Sound effect right there. Yeah, that's good.
Actually, a lot of coffee will dry your mouth out too.
Well, Pam, when men come to the open arms, how do you know that they really want help and it's not just a quick fix for them?
That's a great question. And we are actually a little bit different again
That's
in
why I
that we're
couldn't
not a
do what you
shelter.
do. Yeah.
That we take applications and we look at what they put in the application and we interview. We have an interview process where we really try to pick their brain and see where they're at and ask a lot of questions and listen a lot. And
It's a hard thing to do, isn't it? But you still you give everybody the benefit of the doubt, I'm betting.
Sometimes.
Did I say it right? You don't? I'm looking at your face. I'm trying to read between the faces.
we try to pick the right people, and occasionally we don't. But our people are really making great strides, and every man's journey is a little bit different.
So can I tell you something? We next door where Publix used to be, there was a guy in the parking lot came up to us after we went to Stevie B's, which I pair my cheap pizza with Coke. So anyway, so there was a guy in the parking lot, and he came up to us, and he was saying he needed help, and it was raining, and it was going to be cold that night. This was during the winter. And I said, well, have you tried the Salvation Army? He said, yeah, they're full. So I tried to call his bluff. And I called the Salvation Army with the speakerphone on, and sure enough, they were full. I said, okay, so now I'm embarrassed because I'm doubting you, but isn't there a place a man can go? So could I have directed him to you, or is that kind of a hard...
No,
not
you
to
couldn't have, because again, it's a process. It takes an application and an interview, and we're not just sitting there ready to interview. We set them up and interview according to what applications, what beds we have available. And I said, we stay full. So no, you really couldn't have. I said, we're not a shelter, we're a program. And it's difficult. There's not enough for men or for women or for families. It is...
So do you get like references from the homeless council?
Absolutely.
That kind
The
of thing?
homeless council,
Okay.
from churches. Sometimes we'll take a man out of prison that has nowhere to go, occasionally from drug rehab.
Wow.
So a whole array of
So without seeming judgmental, do you have your hands full? It sounds like you would have your hands full with guys who just came out of prison and drug addicts.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder why I don't feel that way. Maybe
What, you
there's
have a whip?
something. To be honest with you, it's pretty rewarding. It's
Oh, I'm sure it is.
really the whole thing is based on behavior modification and learning new skills and changing the old habits you had, whatever they might be. I have a really supportive staff. We have a case manager, mental health counselor.
It takes a whole team.
It does. It
That's what you're
takes
saying, to
a
change somebody's
village.
life.
How did you get involved with this?
Thomas.
You just
Well,
wanted
you
help?
originally got involved from Thomas.
Oh,
Yeah.
the wine and
Yeah.
tapas was originally started. Stella's used to run it. Thomas from Stella's started the whole thing
Okay,
and did the
okay.
first 4 years, and then we did last year and again this year. And a charity was always picked as a recipient of.
Well, and tell me about Thomas. Thomas.
Well, he's not there anymore at Stella's,
Oh,
which
okay.
is why we.
Oh,
sort of
he
took
just.
over.
Oh, he was.
used to be there. Mhm.
So he warmed up to Open Arms.
He actually did learn about Open Arms when we first opened. And then
Open Arms is new. How long have you guys been open?
3
now?
years.
3 years.
3 years
And
we've been
are
open.
some of the men married, and do they have families, or are they all single, or do you try to get them back together with a family?
That's a good question. If they're married, it's not a healthy marriage. They're either been separated for years or divorced, in the middle of a divorce or what have you. A lot of times when we screw up, our families are kind of done with us, or we hope they are, because you don't want to be
Yeah.
an enabler.
An enabler.
Right. No. Right.
So, yes, they definitely work on ways to let their family know what they're doing and what they're working on and the changes they're making. And little by little, most of them make their way in. Some of the men have reunited with their children. One of the gentlemen in our program just met with his brother, and he hadn't seen him in 17 years.
Oh, wow.
my.
Wow.
Oh my.
Do you ever have people coming in to speak, like somebody who maybe was in their shoes at one time?
We do. We do. We have people come in to speak. We have maybe a bank comes in and gives a budgeting class in addition to the ones we do. We
Or even,
definitely.
how about a one-on-one person, somebody who just, maybe they're not a group speaker, but they'll come in and talk to the reason I'm asking this, because there was a guy who helped us out with the fundraising we did for the Literacy Council. And he literally gave us thousands of dollars, and that's why we won. But he really himself wasn't in that, he's not a millionaire. He just gave this money. He's an amazing man named Frank. And so we got to know Frank, and Frank showed me his writing one time, and I said, this should be a book. Long story short, it is now a book.
Oh, no way.
And when
Yeah,
we
Larry
put
made it a
when we
book.
put the book together, I was reading his writing, and I learned something. I learned that this guy had his own demons. He dealt with alcoholism primarily, and it caused him to end up in jail. Sometimes with charges, nothing really violent, but borderline stuff, right? And he says in his writing, which is now in this book, he says it was the jail experience that opened his eyes to making him realize he's got to change his ways. And I told him, Frank, you got to be a one-on-one speaker, especially now that you have a book. So
And what was his response?
I don't remember if he wanted to do that or not.
Yeah,
but,
he's thinking about it.
Okay.
He's
No, that'd be
thinking about it.
wonderful.
but yeah, Frank, if you're listening, can you give a phone number?
I can. Frank, are you out there? Our office number is 352-304-6229.
Yeah, I think if he were to speak to the men there and perhaps relate to what they're doing, that would make a big difference.
May I make a little announcement?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I can tell a lot of stories about things going well, and they are going well. I said every man's different, has a different journey. But one of the gentlemen there has been working, saving his money, and they mostly ride bicycles, and some of them ride bicycles 45 minutes to an hour to go to work and back. This particular gentleman saved his money and bought a brand new moped, $1,600, and it was chained up inside of our fence area, and somebody cut the bolts all last night and stole it.
Kidding.
So I ask if you just happen to see a Peace Sport black moped sitting on someone's lawn that says "for sale," by all means.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Call
sad.
you?
It's difficult.
Tell me the number
That is
again.
so had.
It's 352-304-6229, and it's a black with some white trim Peace Sport moped.
What a shame.
And that's a hard lesson to learn too. When you just worked so hard, you're trying to get back on your feet, and you save this money that,
And then
boom, it just
somebody
gets
else is
taken
just
out.
a taker, and they just don't want to work for anything.
I just remembered.
spot.
I have
Oh,
a copy
awesome.
of the book. You can have it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's the book Frank wrote, and the
Awesome.
reason I had it is because I was proofing it. It's already been proofed, so that's already a proofed copy. So
perfect.
yeah, that's
Thank
him.
you, because I
So you
only
can
wanted a
encourage them.
proofed copy.
But you can encourage them to read it too, even
That's
if you
true.
can't get Frank to come speak.
That's right.
And on a side note,
Yes,
when you were
nice.
talking about where to send somebody who is chronically homeless, they're working on opening a new facility. So like you said, you're a program, and this has nothing to do with Open Arms or Wine and Tapas, but it's out on
40 and
State Road
I-75.
40, just past I-75. They're redoing a hotel, and what is the name of the project?
Saving Mercy.
Saving Mercy.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Excellent.
Wow.
And
And
that
it's-
is intended for the chronically,
chronically
homeless.
Okay.
No application, no interview. If you're homeless, they take
get
you in.
a room, right? Like you get your own.
These are the kinds of
room
things
for free.
I would love to have here, so that because we have a folder here. This is just when we have a moment, we'll pull one out and say, okay, here's something like a little public service announcement.
Yeah.
So if you could just give us that somehow on a one sheet of paper or
Okay.
something, or just an email or something.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
You have 2 locations
Oh, the corkscrew? Yeah,
for the
we do.
corkscrew, yeah.
One in Ocala and one in the Villages.
And are they both the same? Do they have the same atmosphere, or do you
Yeah,
have
pretty
different?
much. Pretty much. Our original store is here in Ocala, and of course, those buildings are fabulous. Our building was built in the late 1800s, so we have all this old original brick and just a lot of history. But we use barn wood and everything to decorate it and keep it sort of rustic. And we did the same thing in the villages, but of course, it's like modern brick,
Yeah.
and we kept the brick and the copper and the old wood, but it's in a modern building, so the layout and everything's a little bit
But you
different.
put a plaque on the outside that says it was built in 1826.
That's right. All the villages has that. Like they pretend it was built in.
I know. Anybody who visits there thinks, wow.
They're
this
very
place is-
confused. I know. They're like, oh yeah, all
What?
these old Spanish stories and
What? I
stuff.
thought this was wrong.
Exactly.
All right, so here's the deal. There's an event happening this Saturday. If you're just tuning in, it is called, what do we call it again?
Wine and Tapas.
Wine and Tapas, downtown Ocala. It's a fundraising event for Open Arms Village. You're going to have fun, and you're going to eat, and you're going to drink, and you're going to walk around from one business to the next, having a tiny plate of food.
15 businesses.
15 businesses, 15 mini meals, 15 drinks, beer and wine, right?
Yes.
Okay, and it costs $50 a person to do this.
Correct.
And did you give me two? What did
I gave you
Yeah.
two.
I
you got
love
the other
one too.
You got the
Yeah,
other one.
to
Okay.
Pam, so she can follow along.
if anybody would like to go with a friend, I have 2 passports here. That's a $100 gift.
Mm-hmm.
You got to call right now before we go off the air. The number is 622-9622. You can go downtown this Saturday. What time?
This Saturday, the event is from 5 to 9.
5 to 9.
But you
and-
have a check-in.
We have check-in, but the check-in is actually on the square, on the downtown square by the gazebo. Check-in begins at 4. But whoever wins these passports will already have their passports, so they won't actually have to check in. They'll come pick them up from you and.
Oh, okay.
And here are the restaurants, right? Brick
Yep.
City Southern Kitchen, Corkscrew Winery and Brewery. That's what Kelly's with.
Mm-hmm.
Feta Mediterranean and Cuisine. That's down at the end of the road there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Fox Den Tavern, Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill, Infinite Ale Works, Pie on Broadway. What did I do? Something wrong?
No, you're good.
Oh, you getting rid of one of them? Ivy on the Square, Katia?
Katya.
Katya Vineyards, La Cuisine French Restaurant.
You should say them all with accents as you go. I like it.
I should.
Yeah.
What?
So,
Mark's Prime Restaurant.
Yes.
Molly McGuire's Ocala Wine Experience, O'Malley's Alley, Stella's Modern Pantry, and the Courtyard on Broadway.
Yep.
All right. I gave you enough time to call in. Pick one at random.
Pick one at random.
What's the one? Here we go. Okay. Good morning. You've got 2 passports to the Wine and Tapas event. Who's this?
Fantastic, John.
Fantastic, John. You've got him. You got a great name.
Thank you.
Just come down to the. You know where we are?
Sure do.
Okay, you've got him. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you, Fantastic John.
Yeah, what a name.
Fabulous.
I love that
Just
name.
Fabulous.
Thank you. Wow, he's going to have fun. Fantastic, John.
He sounds like he'll have a good time.
Pam, I am so impressed with what you do. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
You're making the world a better place. So you're doing something I could never do. There'd be no bridges in this world, and everybody who was down on their luck would stay there if it wasn't for people like you. So,
Thank you.
Not the bridge part, but the.
And your website to Open Arms Village?
Is www.openarmsvillageocala.org.
And Kelly Carvalho, say hi to Joe and the
I will.
kids.
I will.
Thank you for what you do too.
Well, you're welcome.
You're giving us something fun
We're
to do.
making people happy.
You certainly are.
And if you want to buy tickets, you can go to our Facebook page, Downtown Ocala's Wine and Tapas page. You can buy tickets there, or you can go to feeldowntownocala.com, and they have the event link up as well.
Okay, excellent. Good to see you again, Kelly. Nice to
Good
meet
to
you,
see you.
Pam.
Bye. Thanks for having us
Thank you.
here.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Governor Rick Scott was in Ocala yesterday to honor one brave deputy who intervened during a shooting at Forest High School in Ocala last Friday. After receiving the medal, Deputy James Long gave credit to the teachers and staff at Forest High School. A federal appeals court says Florida does not have to immediately overhaul its process for restoring voting rights to former prisoners. Marion County students held a rally to end gun violence yesterday on the downtown Ocala Square. A Land O'Lakes, Florida school resource officer will return after an investigation of video that showed him wrestling a female student to the ground while taking her into custody. Possible sinkhole activity has been reported in the Four Ranch area of Ocala, and the Disneyana auction on May 5th in Los Angeles will feature an animatronic of Ellen DeGeneres, Walt Disney's last signed will and testament, a shrunken head from Disneyland's Jungle Cruise, a vehicle from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, a submarine from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and member costumes from various attractions. And that is your news brief from The Source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. Mostly sunny on this Thursday and quite nice. The high 81 at the coast, 86 inland. Partly cloudy skies Thursday night, low near 60 inland, 65 along the coast. For Friday, intervals of clouds and sun. Watch out for a shower or thunderstorm. High 79 along the coast, 85 inland. Saturday will be sunny and beautiful. High 80 at the beaches, about 86 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Direct Connect to UCF, where students who attend the College of Central Florida and graduate with an AA or articulated AS degree are guaranteed admission to the University of Central Florida. Success coaches are ready and waiting to assist you in designing an educational plan that is right for you in any of their locations across Central Florida. Remember, connecting is easy and guaranteed. Find out more at directconnecttoUCF.com.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Truth. Glenn Beck.
Well, the 4th of July came early yesterday. I don't know if you noticed that. I mean, if you were on Twitter, it was the 4th of July. Twitter left was all ablaze with the thought of one of their own defecting to the other side. The betrayal! The loss of trust! Traitor! Kanye West. Yes, my cracker, I'm actually talking about a rapper. This is still the Glenn Beck program. Don't adjust your radio. But Kanye West has been making waves in the Twitterverse in the past few days by showing support for President Trump and also, and this might have been the biggest sin of all, actually challenging the narrative that African Americans always have to toe the Democratic line. It all started a couple of days ago when Kanye tweeted support for Turning Point USA and Candace Owens. With a 7-word tweet, he lit the fuse. The meltdown began after Kanye tweeted, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks," end quote. That's it. Instantly, the left began calling West a tool of the far right. First, it was the alt-right. And I'm trying to get my arms around, wait a minute, the Nazi guys? The racist guys? They love Kanye West and he's part of them? Come on. There's absolutely nothing far right with Candace Owens. But the liberal mudslinging piled on. If you're curious about the kinds of things Candace says, that has the left in such uproar, she makes points, and brace yourself for this, like, if Black Lives Matter really cared about black lives, they might help stop Planned Parenthood from killing African American babies. Oh my gosh! She didn't say that, did she? What a racist! Well, to the left, that language is tantamount to a unforgivable sin. You are out of the club. As the left tried to bully Kanye into submission, as per their standard operating procedure, he didn't back down, and here are just a few of the heretical things he dared tweet. Quote, there was a time when slavery was the trend, and apparently that time is still upon us.